everyone. Father Matt here with today's Gospel reflection for Saturday, April 4th, Saturday of the fifth week of Lent. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what Jesus had done began to believe in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and the Pharisees convened the Sanhedrin and said, "What are we going to do? This man is performing many signs. If we leave him alone, all will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our land and our nation." But one of them, Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, said to them, "You know nothing, nor do you consider that it is better for you that one man should die instead of the people, so that the whole nation may not perish." He did not say this on his own, but since he was high priest for that year, he prophesied that Jesus was going to die for the nation, and not only for the nation, but also to gather into one the dispersed children of God. So from that day on, they planned to kill him. So Jesus no longer walked about in public among the Jews, but he left for the region near the desert to a town called Ephraim, and there he remained with his disciples. Now the Passover of the Jews was near, and many went up from the country to Jerusalem before Passover to purify themselves. They looked for Jesus and said to one another as they were in the temple area, "What do you think? That he will not come to the feast?" The Gospel of the Lord. Well, we hear reference at the beginning of today's Gospel to Mary, the sister of Martha and Lazarus. And it's an interesting line. Many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what Jesus had done began to believe in him. Because of Mary's love for Jesus, because of her closeness to him, both in spirit and in proximity, those even passing acquaintances, strangers, friends of Mary who came to her necessarily had an encounter with Jesus. And I think that this is a beautiful thing to reflect on in our own lives as well, that as we grow in our relationship with the Lord, as we grow in friendship with Christ, those around us, whether they're our friends, acquaintances, people we encounter in passing, will come to know the Lord by our witness, by our love of him, and by his love at work in our hearts. It's a beautiful grace, really, to know that we have this ability, even without consciously doing it, to invite others to come to know the Lord and to love him and to believe in him in a deeper way. But a challenge as well, because this demands that we grow in our own relationship with Christ, right? That we open our hearts to him each and every day, that we take time to hear his word, to reflect on his action, and to embrace him more faithfully. So, as we prepare to enter into these sacred days of Holy Week, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to cling to the Lord anew, to ask him for the grace to grow in friendship with him, so that all those around us, by our own loving relationship with Christ, might know and believe in him as well.